Good morning and welcome to Six Flags Over Georgia. In this video, Six Flags Over Georgia has 11 roller coasters and we are going to show you all of them. The Dare Devil Dive coaster is the park's newest roller coaster. This was built, I think, back in like 2010, 2011, somewhere in there. And it's actually a really interesting Eurofighter style ride because it's 3 rows of 2, so one of the smaller cars you'll find on. I think it's a fun ride. It's one of the rides I would say definitely get here early and probably go to this one first because it does not have the best capacity with 6 riders per vehicle. But it goes on a really fun little layout. You get these awesome plane-themed cars that zoom around the course. There are some sort of props and stuff as you go around that you sort of fly through. And I like this ride because I always think any ride that has only a lap bar where you go upside down is pretty neat. So that is Dare Devil Dive Coaster. Another classic here at the park, the Great American Scream Machine. And here it goes down the first drop. This is the bigger of the 2 wooden roller coasters here at the park. And I think it's definitely the better of the 2 wooden roller coasters here at the park. Certainly much, much prettier, as it's in a better shape than the Cyclone is. And it also goes around a lake, which makes it rather pretty. Not something you get to say at a lot of the Six Flags parks, and we're going to wait for this to come back. There it is, as it goes to the finale down some bunny hops right outside a lake. Really pretty cool finale. But then it sort of stops really short on the brake run. Here we go, and boom.
I remember one time whenever I was a kid, someone got a blood nose.
Great American Scream Machine also just recently became an ACE coaster landmark, so if you're a fan of those, that got a nice plaque here in front of the entrance to the ride. Superman Ultimate Flight is the park's B&M flying roller coaster, and I believe that this was the first or the second B&M flying coaster. I believe this and Air, which is now Galactica, opened in the same exact year. This ride has 2 different clones at the other Six Flags parks, but this is the original and the best one by far because of 2 different reasons. One, it is designed to fit this plot of land and the terrain, so you get a lot of really cool low flying moments. And 2, it has 2 stations, so it'll have a higher capacity than the ones at Great America and Great Adventure. To me, it's a solid ride. I would say it's not up there with the better flying coasters that B&M's done. You know, your things like a Tatsu or a Manta. But if you've never been on a flying roller coaster before, it still delivers a pretty solid ride. Scorcher, put your feet to the fire on the park's stand-up roller coasters. And down the first drop goes the Georgia Scorcher. And this is a roller coaster I think is pretty fun. It's the park's stand-up roller coaster, and it's one of the 3 stand-up roller coasters in the country I do really enjoy. This one, along with the Riddler's Revenge out in Six Flags Magic Mountain, and then the Green Lantern at Great Adventure. Those are my 3 favorite. Out of I think the 5 or so in the country, those are the 3 I actually enjoy. But this one I think is good. You know, stand-up coasters sort of become more unique as they become a dying breed. And this one I thought has always been one of the better ones. Plus a unique layout. The Joker's Funhouse coaster is the park's kiddie coaster, but it is definitely not your average kiddie coaster. You see, because this is actually a really fun roller coaster for kids and families of all ages, as it is a custom layout and much larger than a lot of the ones you see. It goes through, you know, tunnels and up and over pathways before it goes, you know, under the bridge we're standing on right here to go back into the station. So it's actually a really fun ride. Lines for this one do get bad as it's a 1-train ride, so I mean, you're looking at a healthy wait right now. This ride also used to be themed to Wile E. Coyote before they did over this whole area into the DC Super Friends. Old roller coaster, new name. Up next is Blue Hawk. There it is, probably the prettiest coaster in the park, besides the lake, is Blue Hawk. And this ride used to be known as Ninja with a different paint scheme. They changed the name, they added new trains, and now it's actually a really good ride. Ninja beat the crap out of you, and but once they switched to the new soft restraints, it is a really fun, really enjoyable ride. We rode twice earlier today, the ride was that good, and it was really fun. We rode in the front row, which was wonderful. You get some great visuals on the lake. They got a nice new paint job on it. and it's a big win. Surprising. This is something Drew said when he came on his visit, that he didn't know this ride was going to be that good, and it's a big thumbs up. This is a good win for Six Flags. One of the first rides you see when you enter the park is the Georgia Cyclone. And here's the first drop on the Georgia Cyclone. This ride, of course, a layout that's inspired by the classic Coney Island Cyclone back in my native New York. And the ride's fun. It's got some pretty good airtime. We sat in the back, and you really, on some of the drops like this one here, you get some pretty wild airtime that you would not see coming. So overall, it's a good time. Now, there are rumors going around that the Georgia Cyclone may not be long for this world and may be getting the RMC treatment. I'm not really sure if that'll be true or not, just because it's such a small ride that I don't really know what a company like RMC could do with it. So I'm not sure how much I believe those rumors, but right now, while it's here, it is a very solid wooden roller coaster. A little rough, so if you don't like getting tossed around, it might not be for you, but I dig it. And here goes down the first drop. This ride is great. It's, to me, it's the park's most classic roller coaster. Super duper forceful loops. Sort of goes off in the trees here. You can't get a good angle from over here, but the ride, a lot of it goes up against a beautiful waterfall. Big incline drop there that takes you right past that waterfall. I like this ride a lot. It's fun, it's forceful. I just rode in the front row. They can do a really great ride in the front row. You get some decent airtime actually as you go up on the top of some of the hills. And it's got some of the most forceful loops you'll find on any roller coaster, including this one here. Takes you around the Tilted World and out past this area of games in Gotham City. Our next roller coaster, and the biggest roller coaster, and my favorite roller coaster in this park, Goliath. Here's the big first drop on Goliath. You know, the hyper coaster, a good 200 feet tall. Nice deep first drop. And then on the second hill, the ride actually leaves the park proper and comes to play in this giant, I guess, island type thing on the roads to come in. And this is what I think makes this ride really unique. And then I love this element here. This thing is awesome. You go up and then you go down this big, giant kind of helix and a half U-turn element. And back you go. A really fun ride, super duper original layout, and overall it's just a big awesome ride. Lots of airtime too, especially as we go to the return run there. The next roller coaster on our list is the Dahlonega Mine Train, the park's marquee family roller coaster. So the Mine Train coaster is not one that is easy to get a good view of because it's kind of back and going through the woods and hills and the back section of the park. And it's again, another one of these fun, older mine train style rides where you get 2 or 3 different lift hills. And now, Molly, you grew up in Georgia. How do you pronounce this ride?
Dahlonega.
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 All right. Because that is a topic of much debate on the internet. And
Dahlonega.
All right.
It's a city.
Yeah, I had no idea it was a city.
Yeah, it's a city. They founded gold there.
Then that makes a whole bunch of sense. And you can see it's kind of an average mine train style ride. You know, a very good ride for kids and families and that kind of thing. You do have a great ending. The ending is over here where you go into a tunnel and then you go down a steep drop. And it's got a really solid ending. So that is the mine train. Guys, I also love this. The park is doing, for their 50th anniversary, in front of most of the rides, they have one of these great history signs, and I'm a huge nerd, so I really like this. Stay tuned after the end of the video. I'm taking pictures of all the signs, so if you want to see all the different fun facts, stay tuned to the end of the video. I'll put them all on there. The Joker Chaos Coaster. Not something I consider a roller coaster. Not something Roller Coaster Database considers a roller coaster, but it is something that Six Flags considers a roller coaster. You know, I don't think so. It's a traveling fair ride. Not even a good traveling fair ride. Not a roller coaster. Here is Batman the Ride. And there goes Batman. Batman the Ride is kind of like it's good and bad, where it was Six Flags' favorite thing to clone in the mid to late 90s. And those are all the roller coasters here at Six Flags over Georgia. Overall, I do like their collection of roller coasters. You got some good, unique rides like Daredevil Dive, Mindbender, Blue Hawk, all original stuff. I love Goliath. That's my favorite B&M hyper coaster. Even their kids coaster is unique. Their wooden coasters, I think, are just okay. But there you go. Molly, what are your thoughts on the coaster collection here?
I think it's pretty solid. Goliath, definitely my favorite. Blue Hawk is definitely way better.
That was the biggest surprise.
Yeah, if you've been here and you avoid the Ninja like I used to, definitely give it a try. Now, Georgia's Scorcher is probably my least favorite.
See, and I like Georgia's Scorcher. To me, that's one of the better stand-up roller coasters in the country. That's my top 3 stand-up roller coasters.
I don't like stand-up roller coasters.
Yeah. That'll do it. What do you guys think of the lineup here at Six Flags over Georgia? Let me know in the comment section below. And now what we're going to do, instead of ending the video, we're going to switch to all those really cool historical signs they have around the park for the park's 50th anniversary. So thanks for watching and enjoy the signs.